Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm okay, Conrad. I'm battling a little low-grade cold here, but other than that, I'm okay.
Well, man, I'm excited that we are here. We are going to have a lot of fun today. We've got a very special episode. Going to be watching a little Spring Stampede from 2000. This is where we sort of reset things once upon a time in WCW. And it seems like there's a lot of resetting going on in professional wrestling. The big buzz last week was a lot of controversy and crazy news about the old chairman of the board. But this week, the news is about The Rock and Cody Rhodes. And man, it's got everybody talking and a lot of buzz, a lot of hype. And I know that he used to be pretty tight with Cody Rhodes. Have you kept up with any of this controversy? What do you think? What do you expect?
Here's as much as I know, that he had earned the shot for WrestleMania by winning Royal Rumble.
That's right.
And then gave it to The Rock.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of fans, I guess, are upset that he earned his shot and won't get it.
Yeah.
And some fans think, well, it's because The Rock is part of the company now. One of the owners of the company, I guess, or one of the investors in the company. I don't know how you describe that. That he took it away from Cody. But I think it's all a work, so something's going to happen.
Well, it wasn't a work, but they could always turn it into a work. That's one of the great things about pro wrestling. And sometimes you can have a work that turns into a shoot, and sometimes you can have a shoot that turns into a work. And
it wasn't a work, right? So Rock just came right in, flew right in, took the thing away from him, and said, "I'm doing it." That's basically what happened.
So this isn't like the official org chart, but Bruce answers to Hunter. Hunter answers to Nick. Nick answers to Ari, and Ari runs Endeavor, William Morris Endeavor, as it used to be known. And their biggest talent under contract that they sort of agent for and represent is Dwayne Johnson. So by default, now The Rock runs WWE. I mean, his daughter all of a sudden is the GM, general manager, whatever you want to call it, for NXT. And The Rock is back. And even though he didn't win the Royal Rumble, which would have made a lot of sense, been easy, instead they had Cody win the Rumble, and now they're having him give the shot to The Rock. So the whole video game campaign about finishing the story, that's seemingly out the window. It's hard for me to wrap my head around, but as you said, it's a work. It could become one. It just didn't start that way.
So basically, Ari said, "We ain't doing that. We're doing The Rock."
I think The Rock said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrestle Roman Reigns on night 2, and we're going to finish the bloodline story, and I'm going to beat his ass, and I'm the head of the table. And then they probably said, what are you going to do after that? And then he says, I'm going to beat everybody. And that's what The Rock says. So I think that's what they're doing. Now, given the backlash, because it made mainstream news, I mean, everybody's covering the backlash. They could pivot. And by the way, they could make a great story out of it. I mean, I think the silver lining in all of this is The Rock is sort of a package deal with Bryan. And now that Bryan's back, he's like a freaking wrestling savant. So I feel really good about where it winds up. It just didn't start that way. Let's be positive, right? Let's try that.
You said Bryan?
Yeah. Guy Wirtz, as Michael Hayes would say. He used to be the head writer for wrestling a long, long time ago. But a lot of the great comedy stuff that you have seen with us from the era where you missed, or even like Eric Bischoff's, maybe his most classic WWF moment where there was a Billy and Chuck wedding and he pulled off the old man mask to reveal that it was him. That was all written by Bryan. So Bryan is like Rock's go-to guy who's written fabulous stuff for Kurt Angle and Edge and Christian and The Rock. And he's just an incredibly talented super fan who can write stories like nobody's business. And I just assume they'll wind up in a good spot. And I also assume that so will Sting. You know, this is the biggest thing in AEW right now. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan because you've got some interesting stories on the other channel, But man, I'm so excited for Sting. Tonight, I think, Tony, is Sting's first shot at AEW Gold. Is that right?
That's right.
I mean, that's a big deal. He's going to be tagging with Darby Allin, who he has given the rub to in a way that I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this before. It's been so well done and sort of establishing Darby as like the next generation Sting. And what still annoys me is in my household, the very first time Darby Allin was on AEW TV and he got on that skateboard and skated down to the ring, Megan just looked at me, not a wrestling fan. She hates wrestling, and says, "Oh, so he's the AEW Sting." This is before Sting's even there. And I'm like, what? No. Well, she nailed it. And
She sure
they're getting a title shot as you're listening to this tonight against Ricky Starks and Big Bill. And I, for one, am pretty excited because it feels like Sting and Darby Allin are on a collision course with the Young Bucks. And now we get to find out, will the tag straps be on the line? And listen, I know I'm probably in the minority, but I really hope that Ric Flair turns on Sting one last time. I mean, that just goes together like peanut butter and jelly for me. And I'm going to be watching tonight and I can't wait to see what they do. But this Sting story and the way tickets have been moving, it's unbelievable. As I understand it, every few days, a few more production kills go on sale and they're sold out again. I saw the other day, there were 44 tickets available. Think about that.
Yeah.
It's a record, man. It's really impressive. And I'm so happy that it's happening for Sting.
You know, we all try to get comp tickets for our friends and family members. And a note was sent out the other day that there's no comps available for Greensboro.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? So,
well, let me say this. Sting's still going to appear on a handful more shows before Greensboro. So if for some reason you can't make it to Greensboro, go see him at some of the other opportunities. Like he's going to be right down the hill from me, February 28th at the Von Braun Center. I guess it's called the Probst Arena now, AEWTIX.com. Tickets are on sale now. I'm going to be there. Love to see you there. If you're going to the Huntsville show, come find me, say hello, chat me up. Let's talk about wrestling, but it's really going to be history here in Huntsville. It'll be Sting's last television appearance as an active wrestler. Because Huntsville is going to be in for a real treat. It's not just Dynamite, but Collision as well, a doubleheader taping, and you can be a part of real wrestling history. And that word gets thrown around a lot, but man, Sting, what a legendary career. For decades, he's been such a big part of all of our wrestling fandom. Let's send him off. Let's say we were there and grab those tickets right now at AEWTIX.com.
It's a great run. I'm glad to be a part of it. I really am. Because not only because of the history with Sting and the fact that I've called a lot of his matches, and I guess my catchphrase, "It's Sting," has kind of caught on, but also because he's a great guy. And I'm glad to be with him on this. Really am.
And
Good
really,
man.
truly, he's timeless. I mean, it's amazing to see the things he's doing and as long as he's been doing it. And it just doesn't go out of style. And when I think of that, I think of a product like Henson, because man, I sure do love my Henson razor. I know you do too. This is the absolute real deal. And if you haven't tried it, I want you to right now. Check it out. HensonShaving.com/Tony. Use our promo code Tony. See for yourself, because when you take a look at this razor, what you'll see is, man, there's no gimmicks needed. This is as basic as it gets. It just makes sense. You see, the Henson folks are actually an aerospace parts manufacturer that's made parts for the International Space Station and the Mars rover. But what they did is they took their aerospace grade CNC machines to make the thinnest razors you've ever seen. I know what you're thinking. Well, how thin are they? 0.0013 inches. That's thinner than a human hair. And what that means for you is a more secure and stable blade with a vibration free shave, which means less nicks and cuts and scrapes. Not only that, the razor has built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, and that makes clogging virtually impossible. Henson wanted to make the best razor, not necessarily the best razor business. So there's nothing on this that's plastic. There's no subscriptions needed here. There's nothing proprietary about the blades. It works with a standard old school blade like, well, Ric Flair and John Moxley are very familiar with. But old Pop never had a razor this thin. And there's no planned obsolescence. Man, a dual-sided razor, that never goes out of style. This is the way to go. It gives you that old school feel, but the benefits of new school tech. So not only is it a better shave than what you've been doing, it's also more affordable. How affordable is it? About $3 to $5. Not $3 to $5 a shave, not $3 to $5 a week, not $3 to $5 a month, not $3 to $5 a quarter. Somehow $3 to $5 a year. That's it. Think about that. You're talking about like a quarter and a nickel is our investment this month for shaving. Let's say no to subscriptions. Let's say yes to a razor that will last you a lifetime. Check it out for yourself right now. HensonShaving.com/Tony. Pick the razor for you and use the code Tony, and you'll get 2 years worth of blades free with your razor. Just be sure to add them to your cart. That's 100 free blades. I'll say that again. 100 free blades when you head to HensonShaving.com/Tony and use the code Tony. And you know, Tony, now that I'm thinking about it, since you're in management and there's 100 free blades here, you should hook Moxley up. He could save a bunch of money. That's 2 years worth of TV for him.
Well, yeah, if he works some independent shows, it's probably a lot less.
Yeah, it'd be 4 weeks, his indie schedule
that's
as
right.
well. Listen, we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're watching Spring Stampede 2000. So if you haven't already, I want you to go ahead and fire that up. I'm really excited to watch this because it represents sort of a new era in WCW. But before we do that, we are just days away from the big game, Tony. And when I'm talking about the big game, of course, I'm talking about the Super Bowl. We know that the Chiefs are going to be playing the 49ers. It's the battle of Joe Montana's teams, if you will. What do you expect? Who you got? Who do you think's coming out victorious and lifting that trophy?
Well, I think the Chiefs are going to win again, but I would prefer the 49ers to win.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm chiefed out every time I turn away. And listen, it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift.
Okay.
But it doesn't, because I'm not a Taylor Swift hater. I'm not at all. I don't know why she gets all this hate. But every time I turn on my TV and I see I'm almost ready to dump State Farm because I've had enough of all the Chiefs on the State Farm commercial. And I mean, they're everywhere. Kelsey and Mahomes are on every commercial, on every free football game, it seems like. And not only that, you know, the fact that they bitched about the referees when they lost to Buffalo at home, and they bitched about the referees before. It almost seems to me like when they lose, they blame somebody else.
Mm.
And I know Andy Reid's not like that. That's the way it seems.
Right.
They blame somebody else. And when they win, you're going to see them all over everywhere. So I'm chiefed out. Sorry. So I'm hoping San Francisco wins. I don't expect San Francisco to win, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, I don't give a damn. Play the game, keep moving.
Well, they are going to play the game. That's happening on Sunday, but you're going to be in Vegas on Saturday. And when I think about you in Las Vegas, I think about our very first trip to Vegas together. Or I guess actually we went to Vegas twice together.
Right.
But man, that very first AEW show where you actually wound up in the front row as a fan, isn't it crazy to think that the first AEW show, you weren't behind the desk, you were behind the guardrail? I mean, that's pretty crazy to think about, is it not?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's one of those things that is a very interesting story in my career when I think about it. And of course, I don't know how many people know the story, but as the story goes, we had STARRCAST and we were busy, and you had tickets to go and you wanted me to go, and I did not want to go. And you lied to me to get me to go.
Yes, I did. I straight up lied.
Yeah. And so I went. Matt Schiavone, who's working for us now, was in the front row with me as well. Really enjoyed the show. And the reason I didn't want to go was because I would be recognized and there would be some fan to say something fucking stupid. And it happened. Online, there was a picture of me. And it says, Tony Schiavone looks bored at the show. And I was not bored at the show. It's one of those things where, you know, you click it.
Yeah.
And I happen to have that, you know, I don't know. But I wasn't bored, and I was misrepresented by a fan, and it really pissed me off. And that's why I didn't want to go. But anyway, that's all in the past. Gosh. Oh,
Isn't it crazy? I mean, where
Yeah.
does the time go? But AEW is going to be in Las Vegas. So if you're going to be a part of the Las Vegas festivities this weekend for the Super Bowl, be sure to check out AEW. Not that big of a drive, and tickets are on sale now. But man, between wrestling on Saturday and football on Sunday, there's going to be a whole lot of people hurting on Monday. That's why we recommend The Amazing Kind. They've got some fantastic CBD topicals that have really been helping in my household. They have potential pain relieving and anti-inflammatory effects for your muscles and your joints. We've mentioned before here, my wife is getting ready for a fitness competition, also in Las Vegas. And man, along the way, she's picked up some bumps and bruises. She's got a pretty sore shoulder, and she's tried different masseuses and different little gimmicks she found on Facebook. And I said, hey, why don't you try this? And dude, it really, really worked. CBD topicals can be applied directly to the areas of pain or discomfort. It'll help with sore muscles, joint pain, and even specific skin conditions. And it can even help alleviate all the pain and inflammation in that targeted area. CBD has shown the potential as an anti-inflammatory agent. And when you apply it topically, it reduces that inflammation. And it can help with other things like arthritis and dermatitis and even just general skin irritation. Lots of athletes and fitness enthusiasts really believe in CBD topicals to aid in muscle recovery. It can help soothe some post-workout soreness and reduce the muscle tension. And CBD's antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties can benefit all the other skin conditions like acne and psoriasis and eczema and just plain old dry skin. But people who have chronic pain like fibromyalgia and neuropathy, they also have found some relief with CBD topicals. Maybe you're like my girl Frances at the office. Man, she struggles with those migraines. You can rub a little bit of this on your temples or even on your neck to alleviate some of that tension. And that'll really help with those tension headaches or migraines. And I know that Lois has had a lot of success with this as well, right?
Yeah, she's always been big into it. She takes it every week. And the CBD oils have helped her with her pain, which is pretty extensive, through especially with her knees and her shoulder and her hip. So yeah, it's been a big part of her regimen. It really has.
I want to recommend The Amazing Kind. This is a family owned business just like ours. They offer plant based pain relief. That's what we're talking about for balms and creams and gels. Oh my. I even have infused oils, as you heard Tony mention, that can help support mood and sleep. But The Amazing Kind, man, they've got everything you need. It's all made from all natural sun grown hemp. It's infused with nutrient dense MCT oil. And by the way, the founder here used to work in the wrestling business. He was a producer and an editor with the WWE, and he worked on a lot of their commercials and marketing. He's a listener to this show. So not only are you going to feel better, but you're going to be supporting one of us. So check out The Amazing Kind. I think you're going to be glad you did. They got everything you need for plant-based pain relief balms, creams, and gels for your muscles and joints, and everything else you need for mood support and sleep. It's all available at theamazingkind.com. That is theamazingkind.com. Get 20% off all your orders when you use our promo code WRESTLE. That's right, 20% off when you use our promo code WRESTLE at theamazingkind.com. So Tony, without further ado, we're going to fire up our Peacock and we're going to go to season 5, episode 1. We're not going to watch the whole show. We're in a bit of a time crunch today. So we're going to start at 1 hour, 13 minutes and 35 seconds. That's Spring Stampede season 5, episode 1. The time code is 1 hour, 13 minutes and 35 seconds. And Tony, we've had such fun bringing on special guests recently. I got incredibly great feedback from having Ethan Page on last week. Shout out to him and his big wrestling show. Follow him on social for more details, but he's got a fun twist. It's a mystery. You don't want to miss that. So keep up with Ethan there. But Tony, as I understand it, we have a special guest today as well to watch Spring Stampede with us.
A very special guest is truly one of the biggest stars that we have here in AEW, and thus one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling. And when we found out we were going to have him with us, I went, really? That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah. So let's bring him in. Our friend, and I know you love him, guys, Orange Cassidy.
Come on. How about it?
Hey.
Good morning, Mr. Cassidy, sir.
Oh, wow. Looks great. Okay, cool. Just make sure my green screen is all in the frame.
It looks great.
It looks like you're flying through space right now. Look at you.
Right.
Tony, why do you have such an elaborate setup?
Because I'm good at pissing away money.
Yeah, thank you. That's great.
Okay.
That's great.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. Cassidy. Can you tell us why you selected Spring Stampede 2000? Why does this show resonate with you?
This may be a shock to all of you, but I didn't really watch a lot of wrestling growing up. And later in my life, I found myself in a room full of wrestlers after shows, usually drunk and or drinking. And Chuck Taylor would always put on WCW late in the 2000s, and we would watch stuff. And I'll never forget the first time I watched this, what we're about to watch, because I was sitting there with Chuck Taylor, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. I think Drew Gulak was there, a couple other people, and we were all on the floor dying laughing at this match. So, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going on. So I feel like it's good to have no context, because people just start showing up and doing things, and I love it. So I feel like I wanted to revisit that moment in time I had with my friends.
Very good.
I love it. That's what this show's about, man. Watching wrestling with your friends. We want everybody to watch with us. Without further ado, fire up Spring Stampede on the Peacock. That's season 5, episode 1. We're going to be starting at 1 hour, 13 minutes and 35 seconds. Tony, do you want to do a countdown for us and then we'll press play?
I'll do a countdown, but before we start, I do need a little disclaimer here. I don't remember any of this shit.
What else is new?
Yeah, I was going to be like, hey, Tony, do you remember any of this? But I was like, it's impossible to remember any of this.
No, it is. People don't realize it's just impossible. I know where we are frozen right now. We see Terry Funk.
Yep.
God bless him, right? And Terry Taylor. Fuck him.
Okay.
So we got, there we go. So we got,
so this is what this show is.
Yes. Yes.
That's right.
It's just you saying who you don't like and who you like.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
You know what, Tony? You should, hell yeah, man. That's great.
Okay.
Let's do it, Tony.
In 3, 2, 1, play.
Relax, Mr. Bischoff.
I can take him.
Got to take him care of.
You know, Norman's a little nervous about fighting tonight. He's not in the ring. Where is he? He's in catering. Fourth door up on the right. Turn right into Doritos. Yeah. Catering? Yes, sir. Screw him.
Relax.
Well, in the midst of all this, we are ready for our hardcore
He
battle.
shows up tomorrow at Nitro.
You're a Bischoff. See if he shows up tomorrow at Nitro, and Hogan says he's going to do that. And in the midst of all this, Terry Taylor is stooged off where Norman is.
This might get ugly.
Another search is going on.
They're in catering.
Norman
Hulk Hogan
Smiley
is in
in
the
here. Has
house
anybody seen Norman
Our catering's
Smiley?
way better. Oh, that was probably staged, huh?
that you assume if that's catering that Eric Bischoff would be there, but we know he only hangs out in WWE catering, I guess.
I can tell by the backstage area that's the United Center.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just know from what it looks like backstage.
Yeah, from the red doors and everything. That's got to be the United Center.
Let's track this.
Tell you what, constipation can hurt, but not that much.
Like, what are we doing?
We're starting a match in a bathroom with Terry Funk.
So, mind you, I don't know what's going on. He just goes into a stall and pulls out Norman Smiley and catchers out.
Norman Smiley was squatting as catchers do above the toilet.
It's the first time everyone's going to see me laugh this much on tape.
What a fun,
God.
what a fun idea this is to have Norman Smiley, the reluctant hardcore champion. Like he doesn't.
Oh, that probably hurt so bad.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
It's those little things that hurt the worst.
And one thing about it is Terry didn't give a shit. If somebody would have said, do not go near the Cokes.
Oh, they're
Okay.
going right there.
He would have gone right there.
Yes.
I feel like he's earned that right.
Yes.
Sure. Absolutely.
Which is
Absolutely.
good to know.
He shoved
What
it
is
into the
like,
kitchen.
he got through that. Why? You could have just walked around.
This Terry Funk. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't remember this either. This is fantastic. Excellent selection, Mr. Cassidy.
But
Yeah.
just, it was also after a show one time and we would just got back from the bar. So like, you can imagine that. Look at this. You will see Terry Funk throw random things over his head without looking this entire match.
Including a package of buns. That was amazing. You know that the people in the building were just thrilled. They're just rummaging through the kitchen right now.
Oh God, this was.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, this would be something that we today would not authorize, nor could we do today.
I don't know that it was authorized then. I mean, to your point, Terry Funk was just going to do what Terry Funk wanted to do.
Right. Right.
And then hit you with the old Dave Chappelle after. Sorry, I didn't know I couldn't do that. I mean, he pulled down a fire extinguisher. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Oh my gosh, he's in the trash can, kicking his legs. He's the ultimate entertainer. He's the ultimate sports entertainer, I think.
Went head first into the trash can, of course, then he shook his legs. Oh man. So this, I think, is for the hardcore championship that I think, boom. Oh man, that had to hurt too. He just took a can and opened it up and cold cocked him in the head with it.
My goodness. This
I
is
just
one
like
of
how
the,
there was no official match started. There's no bell. It's just like I walked to the bathroom, I found him, and I'm gonna beat him up.
I'm gonna beat him up. Exactly.
you're exactly right. This is for the vacant hardcore championship.
Orange, did you ever work with Norman Smiley at all?
Never.
Never.
No, it's not too many people wanted to work with me.
Well, he's
Hanging from the pipe.
he's very well respected as a trainer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's still
Yeah,
working.
well,
with
it's just funny now to be like, he's at the PC now, right?
Yes.
It's just like, okay, that was fun. Here, everybody, let's watch one of the matches I had against the great Terry Funk. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. Can you imagine the watch along for this at the PC? What can we learn from this?
Yeah, we can learn.
Hey, we've all been there.
Yes.
We've all seen stuff we've done on tape that we don't like.
Well, I'm sure he's proud of this. Like if Terry Funk says, here's what we're doing again, can you argue? You just say, yes, sir, Mr. Funk, here we go.
Yeah. If you're chair shot to the head.
At least he flipped it though.
Yeah. At least he flipped it. Great. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do it, at least flip it around.
Yes.
It just,
It's amazing. It's amazing that the things that we did back then, it really is.
look at that. That was a real road case. Like,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And those things are really,
they're
really,
so heavy and they hurt.
yes, they are.
I mean, that road case nearly cost CJ Perry her finger. I mean, people can make fun of a road case, but like that thing's been in every arena everywhere. You get cut by one of those. That's not good news.
That place is packed.
Yes, it is. For 2000. Now as they come out, it may not be. I thought for sure that was the United Center, but I'm not so sure now.
It's the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. You're exactly right.
Okay. So I was right. It is, for WCW in 2000, this is pretty damn good crowd.
Yeah.
8,377 tickets sold. The gate was
What was the main for this
272,000.
one?
What was the what?
The main event for this one.
They're doing a tournament.
He just smashed him in the back of the head with the chair.
Yeah.
And now he's dancing.
Yeah. That's my uncle. This is my uncle's favorite wrestler. My deceased uncle HR. He thought Norman Smiley and the Big Wiggle that was peak wrestling. That's as good as it got.
So what was the main event for this, Conrad?
It's if you recall, this is the reset for Russo and Bischoff. So they stripped all the titles. So they're crowning new champions. So the main event, the tournament finale, will be Jeff Jarrett and Diamond Dallas Page. There were a total of 14 matches on this pay-per-view.
Yikes.
All right. Well, that's, if you're keeping tally at home, that's the third time Terry Funk has just swung something behind his head and hit.
Oh,
by the way, he was, I guess he was dancing on him. I don't know.
yes. That's what he was doing. Dancing behind him.
Ruined my,
That was very Orange Cassidy of you.
That's right. Okay.
I was wondering if he was going in the cooler, but no, he's looking for something else. Oh, the ladder. Here we go. He's going to put his head between the rungs and spin around.
were all WCW rings like that? I never seen a ring that has that, like, that bottom support.
That big wood beam. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. I would say there was a Klondike Bill special, but Klondike was pretty sick by this time.
Hey, heads up.
Look at there.
Take a look at
Dustin
from
Rhodes
behind,
is here.
Yeah, from behind looks like a very heavy Cody.
My coworker.
Yes, it is. Now he's going to do here we go again. I'm just amazed at I'm amazed at the bumps. Just the shots to the head.
It's just Terry Funk is doing. It's just.
I mean, this is what he was all about. And I mean, we talked about this before, Conrad.
Oh.
Not good.
I think he caught. Yeah, he did. He caught the leg of that ladder.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to catch it full on, but
right, missed it. Is Terry going to put the ladder around his head?
I mean, that was his go-to move, but
no, he's going to do this, Tony.
Oh gosh.
I can tell you where
there it is. Terry Funk's our new hardcore champion.
If a bunch of wrestlers get drunk and watch this, I can see them just dying laughing.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
And like, it's just because I know how much all that stuff hurt.
Oh yeah.
We're going to do this fun little hardcore match. I'm going to wear a catcher's outfit, but everything you're going to do to me is going to hurt so bad.
Hey, you can get a mouse pad with the exploding vagina logo.
Well,
there it is.
Oh, the Stampede logo is the same thing.
It sure is. Both are exploding. One's from back in the West and one's from, oh my God.
Here we go.
What I'm insinuating is I'm the nice guy, man. I'm trying to help you. Bischoff, you better quit pissing him off. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll keep this potato crap between us as long as you do me a favor. Let's go. Now.
So by the way, Tony, little trivia note. Terry Funk wound up being a 3-time hardcore champion.
As well he should.
He would lose this title run to Shane Douglas. But Terry Funk would win it back the very next day. But do you recall who eventually beat Terry Funk for the hardcore title?
It had to be something fucking goofy.
Eric Bischoff.
There you go. That's what I thought. I was going to say Vince Russo, but yeah, we did some goofy stuff. I think the goofiest thing we did, and we brought this up many times. I'm all for promos in the back and leading the storyline, but it was just too much in the back.
Yeah.
It was like almost like the wrestling was secondary to what was going on in the back. And I know that Russo wanted to build storylines. That's a good shot right there.
Fantastic.
I know Russo wanted to build storylines, and I get it, but sometimes I think we went too far with it. Here's a guy who's out of his fucking mind. Wow. Yeah, boy.
I used to love watching Mike Awesome.
Me
It
too.
was he was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for those who didn't see Mike Awesome in his ECW run, really missed
Yeah.
a lot. Really
Yeah.
missed a lot. And we watched a lot of those matches here on our podcast.
You know what we need to do one day, Tony? We need to watch some old FMW where they used to have like a ring in the water and it was surrounded by alligators and
What?
Hey, when you do, you have to invite me to watch that as well because Mike Awesome's the Gladiator, right? Is that what he
yes,
was in
absolutely.
FMW? I watched some of those stuff, but I actually went back and watched it 3 years ago. Whatever. Jeez, it's been a long time. Before I wrestled Chris Jericho in the Mimosa Mayhem match,
Uh-huh.
which you're like, oh, FMW Mimosa Mayhem, but you know that's where Chris got the idea from, I think, and so I went and watched them just to see what they did for some of those things.
Okay, let me get this right. A ring in the water with alligators surrounding it. Is that's real?
Yeah, I mean, I think they also said that the water was electrified because it had electric eels and there was piranhas. And I mean, it was like, whatever you do, don't fall in these deadly waters type thing. They did all
a
kinds
lot
of crazy stuff.
that we do now, Tony, with like putting the barbed wire boards just like surrounding the ring. So if you fell out of the ring, you go through the barbed wire and they would explode. All that
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Man, like that's wildly impressive what he just did.
Absolutely.
Yes,
for a guy that big, that size, my goodness.
Yeah.
And he moves so fast. Which was so this is 2000. Was he like fresh out of ECW? What? I don't know what
Yes. Yes. He had just jumped ship from ECW to here, and in 99 and 2000. I mean, Mike Awesome was my favorite wrestler. I mean, by far, because as you said, he's this big guy doing all these power moves, but he's so agile. He could do all the crazy stuff, like off the top rope and catapulting himself inside, like we just saw with Steiner. I mean, really impressive stuff.
When you get people to request to watch Mike Awesome, what kind of wrestlers, like, is Eddie Kingston asking to watch Mike Awesome? Like, who wants to watch Mike Awesome?
I think he would be the first one who's requested it. Every time Eddie joins us, we watch some All Japan.
It's interesting because it's like Eddie's not that style at all, but
Right.
he wants to watch. Like, I'm the same way. Like, if something I can't do, I like to watch.
Right.
I mean, think about how big Mike Awesome is to do what he just did with that little springboard elbow thing. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
And hey, listen, if a big man that size can do a springboard or go to the top rope, then I'm allowed to do a choke slam. All right, there, I'm just saying it.
Yes, there you go.
Something's going on around. There you go. Oh, brother.
That probably hurt real bad too.
I'm sure it did.
Now let me ask you a question. What the fuck's the referee doing?
Okay.
I didn't see it. He was checking on Mike Awesome.
Yes.
He literally watched him hit him with it. There's no DQ, and then Steiner recliner.
Uh-huh. Maybe it was a no DQ match. I don't know.
This is one of the tournament matches for the U.S. title. So I'm pretty sure they had rules that couldn't have outside interference, but what the shit do I know? It's WCW in 2000.
Yeah, you're right, JR. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? We forgot to mention that at the top of the show, man. Thoughts and prayers with JR. And
Yeah,
he's really
absolutely.
going through it right now. He's laid up in a hospital bed in Jacksonville. And I know he's got the support of his lovely daughter there at his side, but man, he's had a rough week or so. And we're pulling for Jim. We want to see him back on the playing field doing what he does best sooner rather than later.
I talked to him on the phone. He was for the situation he's in very good spirits right now, seemingly. Okay. He'll always put on a brave face for you. I know that. So anyway, so we got some bitching going on backstage.
Do you think we should ask Dustin to bring back that facial hair that he had?
I think so. That'd be great.
I think about that all the time. Like if I look back, 10 years from now, this is probably 20 years from now, but like, would we be out of style? We're like, oh, what the hell? What was I doing? Why was I wearing sunglasses?
Yeah, but that's all you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you are. Hey, Vampiro. Yay. One of my favorites.
Why did you really dig Vampiro and his presentation, Tony?
No, I just think that he was. I just thought it was almost like the anti-Sting.
Oh,
you know, in many ways.
Think you're gonna like his opponent here, then? It's
Man, I've
speaking
got a
of
cold, and I've got to say it's Sting tonight as we're watching this. I have to get something in. I have to get on the gas or something.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, that gets rid of colds, Tony. You've been hanging around the locker room too much with those guys.
He's Mr. Wizard over here. Eric Green has a great question for you, Tony. He says, what would be your ideal finish for Sting's final match? Does he pick up the win for his team? Like, this is one of those things that people, I think, sort of compare to the Undertaker. The idea being, a lot of fans think, hey, the streak shouldn't have ended. And Sting sort of has a streak of his own. He's undefeated in AEW. Would you like to see him retire undefeated in AEW or no?
Of course I would. And I'd like to see him finish with the regular Stinger Splash, Scorpion Death Drop, Scorpion Death Lock, and get the win. I don't know who it would be against, but I think it would be a big deal.
And I'm sure you've said it, Tony, but Sting is the best. And he's like, our locker room is better to have him around. And I think he's really good influence on all of us about how to be a genuinely great person.
Yes.
And it's tough in professional wrestling.
Yes,
to have those people around.
Yeah. He's a leader, not necessarily a leader about what you should do in the ring, but how you should be a professional behind the scenes.
How you carry yourself, for sure.
How you carry yourself. Yeah. And that's why this was, and I know, I mean, he's up in age and he does some crazy shit for his age. Oh my God. But I know why Tony signed him, and he signed him just for this. And he signed him to be a leader backstage, which he has been. It's a good guy.
And to give Tony some props, he is a super wrestling fan, and he wanted to give Sting a proper send-off. And boy, has he done that.
A lot of things. I think that's a lot of what people forget about Tony is that's he does right by professional wrestling.
Yes.
Sometimes he tries to course correct a little too much sometimes, but I think it's, I consider myself very lucky to be in the locker room with Sting every time I see him. I can't believe I wrestled in a match with him. Like, that still blows my mind.
Yeah. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal for all you young guys in the business, that you get a chance now to say you've been in the ring with Sting. I mean, gee whiz, how many people can say that?
And he doesn't, like, Sting wrestles the same. In his brain, he'll wrestle the same way he wrestled in 2000.
Yeah.
When you think about Sting through the years, Mr. Cassidy, what's your favorite version? Did you prefer Surfer Sting or Crow Sting, or where do you land on that?
I definitely, I'm a big fan of Surfer Sting.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting to see, that's how you have longevity, I guess, in your wrestling career, right? You have to, I guess, reinvent yourself. The idea that he was a surfer dude,
yeah,
and now he's the Crow, maybe the Joker, like, I don't know how he pulled that off.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I started wearing Joker face paint coming down from the ceiling, people would be like, what an idiot.
But he can get away with it because of who he's been.
He can, yeah. And it works.
It also, honestly, here's another thing too. When I think about Sting, I think about, believe it or not, I think about the band Kiss and how the face paint has helped them age or prevented them from really aging.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome. I never thought about that.
Right. Yeah.
That's great.
Gene Simmons really looks the same way Gene Simmons looked back in the 70s.
Because he's wearing he's wearing.
Yeah.
And well, luchadors never age.
That's right, but they got a mask on. Right.
Oh, like,
no thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet
I don't know.
Vampiro, Orange?
If I did, it was I don't remember. I don't remember if I did.
Yeah. He did some commentary for, didn't he? With
Lucha
Triple H.
Underground?
Lucha Underground with
Yes.
Stryker, right? And he hasn't done any since then, I don't think. What's he doing now, Conrad?
He's got a radio show. He's got a cooking show. He's doing a lot of stuff. Yeah.
You know, out of all the things you were going to say, what he could possibly be doing at this moment, I didn't think cooking show would be one of them.
Me neither. That blew me away.
Now I want to search out cooking with Vampiro.
I think he's like, I know he's doing some training with the, different, police departments. And, I know that he's doing, the cooking show, and he's got a supernatural television show where he's talking about ghosts and things like that. And then he's a DJ too. He's a jack of all trades, man, a bit of a renaissance man, if you will.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. It's not what
I don't really know. Like, I only know anybody that's worked with AEW because, you know, no one really wanted me around their. No one really cared to have me around their locker room. I wasn't really booked a lot until AEW, so I don't really know many people unless they work for AEW or I met them at a STARRCAST event.
Well, thank you for joining us at all those STARRCASTs. We greatly appreciate it.
Yikes.
Oh, that probably hurts so bad.
Yeah. I don't think it worked out the way they wanted, but it probably hurt.
I remember the first time I saw Orange Cassidy. I was doing a podcast show after a wrestling show for Mikey from Black Label Pro, and Bruce and I were hanging out backstage right after Bruce had been signed back with WWE, but we had the show booked, so of course he was able to honor all of his bookings. And Dylan, the former Hornswoggle, came over and said, "Conrad, have you seen Orange Cassidy before?" And I go, "No, I know the name." And he says, "Come look through the curtain and watch this." And I'm like, "Okay." And it was like, wow, that's different. It was really, really impressive. And you could tell right away, like, enough people just have to see this and they're going to love it. So it's interesting.
I remember that. That was the first. I mean, I think we met before that, but that was like the first time you actually saw me
do your thing.
Put my jeans on. I wrestled Filthy Tom Lawler that show.
Yes, you did. And it was fantastic.
Can I ask a question did you have a Hornswoggle on your shoulder so he could see too?
I was peeking out the top of the curtain and he was peeking below. It was like a Three Stooges moment. We needed Bruce right in the middle.
All right.
Oh, let's track DDP here.
WCW World Heavyweight Champ, if you can beat the chosen one, Jeff Jarrett.
Gino, there's only one thing.
Is Mean Gene standing on a podium? Because DDP's tall.
That's a great call. DDP's like 6'5", so Mean Gene has to be on a platform, right, Tony?
I don't know. I don't think so. Knows. I'm just looking at Kimberly. I'm sorry. I don't know what you guys.
That's fair. That's fair. I get that.
Yikes! God, she was gorgeous, wasn't she?
She probably still is.
I'm sure she still is. And I understand she and Dallas still very good friends.
That's not a surprise. It feels like DDP's on good terms with everybody.
Yeah.
Do you remember watching 40-Year-Old Virgin and seeing the cameo from Kimberly?
Yes, I do.
I was,
yikes.
I had been watching wrestling for a long time at that point. And then when it popped up, it was like, wait a minute, what? Oh man, what a fun stuff. What a fun. I love that. Well, think about what's in the ring right now. Our buddy Charles Robinson holding the Cruiserweight Championship. Dave Penzer in the corner. Oh my gosh. And here they come. Crowbar, our buddy Lash LaRue, the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea, and 3 Count. This is WCW 2000 to me right here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So I would usually watch the beginning of Nitro because that's where the cruiserweights usually went on, or like early
Right.
in the shows. Like I used to love watching the cruiserweights for WCW.
Right.
And then I kind of like turned to another channel.
Right.
Hey, in my real life, man, I'm helping people save money. I'd be glad to help you too. If you're looking to buy a house, if you're looking to get out of that apartment, if you're looking to sell your house, if you're looking to fix your credit so you can buy a house, if you're looking to get some pro tips on how to save money to buy a house or how much you need to buy a house, or maybe you're just trying to save some money on your current bills, maybe get rid of some credit card debt, maybe consolidate a car payment, maybe you just need some cash to do some remodels around the house. Whatever it is, we can help you at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket. But man, if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. Because you can get a quick quote, even talk to a live person right now at savewithconrad.com, or give us a call toll free, 888-425-0105. By all means, give us a buzz, ask for me. We're right here on the Parkway in Huntsville, Alabama, but licensed pretty much all over the country and able to help you remotely. Seriously, think of me next time you need something in that area. You got a friend in the business. You can also just drop me an email, Conrad@savewithconrad.com. If I can be helpful, I'd love to do that. I'd love to let my family help your family. And don't just take my word for it. Go check us out. We got an A+ with the BBB, and you can read all of our 5-star reviews. There's more than 1,000 of them at conradreviews.com. But savewithconrad.com, that's your hookup, man.
Well, we had some good performers. We really did. And obviously Chris Candido there's one of them. And
it's I don't do it enough because there's so much wrestling to watch now, like between all the New Japan and just AEW alone with everything. But
right.
When I go back and I watch some of the stuff like this, you watch a Chris Candido and realize how incredible he was, just and everything.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't blow a spot right here. I'd be embarrassed.
Did you get a chance to meet Chris, or did he pass away before you got the opportunity?
I never got a chance.
Yeah. Can you imagine how much he would be enjoying today's wrestling?
Yeah. Crowbar.
Took his own bump. I love that.
There you go.
Oh boy, it took a clothesline from Numbnuts too.
It's interesting to see how, oh man, Daphne was so great. Such a shame.
She was the best. I met her a bunch of times. She was the best.
Yeah. Great girl.
I was going to say, it's interesting to see how, some of these careers have evolved. I mean, Crowbar has a very successful business. He's a chiropractor now and doing very, very well. And Lash LaRue has, been a big part of, the ministry, and now a full-time artist, traveling all over the South and doing caricatures, and Shannon Moore helping run a rehab facility and help people get their lives put back together. I mean, and then there's Shane Helms, sending me dirty memes as he travels the world for WWE.
Conrad, do you have a cheat sheet that everybody's like what they're doing right now? This is wildly impressive.
I just, through all the STARRCAST and stuff, I've just managed to meet a lot of people.
You just know. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so we just have conversations like, hey, what are you up to these days? But like Shannon Moore is really, really helping people, with drug and alcohol rehabilitation. And it's just, I mean, that's a real credit to the world. I don't know what the fuck Prince IK is doing, and don't give a shit either.
I was told he won the lottery.
Well,
yeah, he did. I think that's pretty. Look at Daphne up top.
I feel like if anybody in wrestling won the lottery, it was Billy Kidman, but that's a story for another day.
Wow. Hurricanrana.
Tony, you got any good Hoovy stories?
No.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, I do. He worked for AEW for like a match and
Against Jericho, right?
Against Jericho. And God bless them both, but it wasn't a Hoovy versus Jericho from the 90s.
No, but
Yeah, but we didn't expect it to be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had realistic expectations there. There's so much going on in this match. We got a great question from DJ Turnup. He wants to know, #ask Orange Cassidy, if you were to have a tag team with any WCW wrestler in 2000, what would the tag team name be, and who would it be with?
Oh, I would. I don't know. I'd be part of that. The boy band there.
Oh, 3 count. I could see that.
We'd be 3 count. We'd be Orange Cassidy and the 3 count.
I love that.
I could see that. I really could.
Hey, crazier things happened.
Did you see David Flair get involved?
I did.
You know, he can kiss my ass.
Mine too. Mine most of all.
Yeah. We feel that way, Orange, because he was dating
Stacy Keibler.
Stacy Keibler.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Isn't all funny how when a guy dates a girl that everyone likes, they get mad at the guy, but instead of high-fiving him.
No.
Oh man,
Not his fault.
Is that Tammy?
A run in from Tammy, the former Sonny. Man, what a tragic tale.
Yeah, man.
Her life became. Goodness gracious. I mean, just a few years before this, she was like one of the most recognizable. I guess she was the most downloaded woman on all of AOL back in the day, just like 3 or 4 years prior to this. And now,
yeah.
So I didn't know, you don't think about these things when you're that age, when I'm watching the stuff and when Sonny was in WWF, but like she was what, like 19, 18?
She was early 20s. Yeah, she was early 20s.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
super young. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she was born in 72, and I think she was on TV for them in 95. So yeah, she was 23. Actually 22 when she debuted. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And this is Booker T's today, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's Booker T's wife, Charmel. And you can tell that this is Vince Russo watching a little ECW because we had to have a cat fight.
Yeah.
I was literally just about to say, it's like, oh yeah, you could see all the influence that try to be edgy. Oh man.
Oh wow. Charmel's grabbing the yam bag.
What is going on? What is happening?
That's nuts.
I don't want anybody to complain about our shows ever.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about?
Oh God.
You know, I just noticed for the first time right there, Chris Candido knew what the guy, adolescent, the young man audience wanted to see. So as they're rolling around in the cat fight, rather than cover his wife up, he actually lifted it up a little bit like, hey, here's the thong shot y'all were looking for. It was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? It should go the other way. That's your wife. But I guess he knew, hey, these are wrestling fans. This is what they're here for. Hey, okay, now we're out of here. Wild.
Tony, you've ruined this WCW logo for me forever.
So
there's Jeff Jarrett. I wrestled him.
Heavyweight title, but that indeed paybacks would be a quote bitch for what you did to Kimberly.
Don't be a wise ass with me, old man. I'll smack your liver spots right in two tonight. Now, as far as DDP goes, what doesn't he get? I am the chosen one. I've got Russo and Bischoff behind me. I've got the new blood on my side. And after tonight is all said and done, I will be the new WCW World Champ. So why don't you choke on that, you old Geritol slap ass?
Wow, slap nuts, slap ass. We're slapping a lot of things there, Double J.
Well, talk about longevity. I mean, Jeff Jarrett's 75 years old and still wrestling for us.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, how about that?
Wow.
And married a young, beautiful thing like Karen. Robbing the cradle, brother.
Wow.
Yeah. I really like them.
This is I know why people listen to your this podcast.
Man, there's a bunch of sad stuff in this when you look back.
Oh, there
Miss
is.
Elizabeth, my goodness.
Yeah, we talked about Sonny and
Daphne
and Elizabeth.
Now Liz. Golly.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a cautionary tale for women in WCW now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could wind up
growing up watching Miss Elizabeth with Macho Man, and that she was, I think that's the first time I ever fell in love with Miss Elizabeth.
That's awesome.
That and Kelly Kapowski.
You had to be in love with Kelly Kapowski. Everybody was.
And Aunt Becky. I clearly have a type.
I didn't get into Aunt Becky. We diverge there.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So
Full House.
Kelly Kapowski was a character on Saved by the Bell, which was a show that people mine in Orange's age watched. How about Ric Flair wrestling in dress clothes? This never made sense to me. Make it make sense for me, Tony.
Yeah, I can't make it make sense for you. With the exception of maybe he was too fucking lazy to put his stuff on. I don't know.
But that doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, did they lose his bag? Like he doesn't have. It feels like it's not a Ric Flair match if you don't have the robe and shit, right?
Well, of course it's not. So tell me, we can pull up his drawers. He's going to pull up them drawers a million times in this match. What?
If he's wearing dress shoes, that's that's not fun.
No.
How many times did this happen, Conrad? And oh, brother. There's a big old top hat and nothing underneath of it there, boys.
What a great character he was, though. Like an over the top persona that, I don't know. This is the epitome of late 90s, early 2000s wrestling to me is Buff Bagwell.
He looked great, didn't he?
Oh,
My
yeah.
God. Jeez.
And he knew how to be hateable. Like he just naturally could turn it on and have this hateable, punchable face.
Yeah, wherever he went.
Man, look at that. I know that there's only 8,000 paid, but like 5,000 comps or whatever, but it looks phenomenal right here.
Yeah, it does. Huh.
What'd you think of the big curtains as a backdrop for the set, Tony? I mean, that's really what that is. Just a huge piece of fabric there.
Yeah, you know what? I think for the time it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Logo.
It looks futuristic.
Yes, with the logos on it and the stands and the
Man,
brother.
I don't guess I really thought about it until now, but you think about that entrance set, and that's kind of what it looks like in WWE now. You know, just giant screens, and of course these days it's actual video boards, but that's more of a projector screen. But clearly somebody was watching some old stuff and took a little inspiration.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what we do with Dynamite. We have a big screen now.
Yeah,
with Dynamite and oh brother, we are
a 4-man booth. Is this Dynamite? Might be Rampage. Hey, you know Mark Madden still is not speaking to me, Tony.
Really, is it because of your relationship with the Nature Boy Ric Flair?
He had a falling out with Rick and said he hates Rick now and doesn't ever want to speak to me because when he thinks of me, he thinks of Rick. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really make any sense, but all right, got it.
He can think of you without speaking to you.
Yeah. I hope he's doing well.
Hope he is too. He's had a very successful radio career. And you know what? He was a lot of fun to work with back in the day. He knew his role to be a heel. And he knew it so well that he even pissed some of the guys off. Like Diamond Dallas Page. I never will forget because he ripped on Page one time and Page came in the very next week and he was so pissed off at Mark Madden. I remember thinking, I didn't get involved in the argument. I remember thinking, dude, he's doing his job. He's a heel announcer.
Yes.
So apparently he's doing it quite well if he pissed you off too. So I never did get that. So, but anyway, he was a good heel announcer. And obviously, you know, I'm working here with Scott Hudson as well, who's a fine announcer. We had a good I've been so lucky to work with a lot of great guys. I mean, a lot of fine announcers.
Well, now I'm gonna put you on the spot, Tony.
Okay.
You have to be in it. You can't exclude yourself.
Okay.
What would your team be? How many and who would you pick?
And no current, by God. Don't you hit us with some AEW combination of things, you damn shield. We're talking about in the rear view mirror.
Okay. It would be JR in his prime and Jesse Ventura.
I love that.
Oh, that's great.
Although I would make sure that JR and Jesse got along, which not always happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think JR in his prime would be the best. And I'm not necessarily sure that I'm talking about JR with the cowboy hat in WWF.
I like the WCW JR.
I was thinking about the early 90s.
Yes.
Yeah, JR, that he and I worked together, and Jesse Ventura back then. Listen, working with Jesse Ventura, and I've said this many times, was one of the real high points of my life, because I had been watching Saturday Night's Main Event, and I knew he became such a big star, and he was so good at what he was doing. Being able to work with him was a big deal for me. So, and that SummerSlam that we did in '89,
Yeah.
that was a big moment in my career. I was so thrilled about being able to do that show.
Boy, how excited was the internet to see Ric Flair and Shane Douglas finally mixing it up after Shane calling out Rick all those years.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
I watched the movie Predator because Carl Weathers passed away, and it was like
right.
I went back and watched some of his stuff, and Jesse Ventura crushes it in the Predator.
Yes,
he does. Yeah, I don't have time to bleed or something like that. He hit me with that line. Yeah, he hit me with that line all the time. Schiavone, you know my big line in Predator. I said, yeah, I know. Look at Flair, man.
Oh.
Still take that bump on the side. I want to see him hike up his pants because I know he's going to.
He has to.
Yeah, he used to hike up his trunks all the time.
Have you seen in recent years his new thing is he like rubs his forehead? I don't know if he's longing to gig or whatever, but it just rubs his forehead. If you're just like sitting with him at a bar or something, just be rubbing his forehead.
Really?
Yeah. It's funny because Megan and I both know that and notice that. And so whenever we find ourselves having a cocktail, as we continue to, get a little more lively, one of us will look at the other one and just start rubbing our forehead for no reason whatsoever. And it just cracks the other one up big time.
Okay. I'm doing a search here on Google, seeing that if rubbing your forehead is a sign of senility. Being senile, let's see. No. Yeah.
When you
just want to make sure.
When you were growing up as a fan, Mr. Cassidy, were you a big ECW guy?
Yes, very much so.
Who were your favorites there?
I mean, I don't think I'm speaking out of line here when I say that modern professional wrestling that exists today probably has something to do with Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam.
Agree.
And those matches, I think they still are influential today. I watched RVD against Swerve this past. Look at me plugging the. Hey, what a company man I am.
Yes, right. We're proud of you.
It was incredible. Like Rob Van Dam and Swerve is on. Swerve's great.
Yes,
but like watching that stuff, it was like get done. And I'm like, you just wrestle Rob Van Dam. He's like, yeah, that's crazy. I was doing my moves in his backyard and stuff. Like it's like, yeah.
Anybody else in ECW?
Well, I said Mike Awesome, obviously.
Yeah.
I also liked the FBI.
Oh yeah, how could you not?
And I loved watching those three-ways, like Super Crazy, Tajiri. I also really liked. Oh, Rick. I also love watching Lance Storm stuff. And I would have to stay up late and figure out when it was showing on what random channel. And then sometimes I get to see a Dean Malenko, and I have no idea who he was. I'm just watching ECW to watch ECW.
Wow, Dean Malenko.
How
lucky are we to have Dean Malenko and Jerry Lynn backstage?
I don't think I'll ever fully appreciate it. You know what I mean? I can only appreciate it. It's just the idea that Dean Malenko and Jerry Lynn are helping me put my hands in my pockets is insane.
Yeah.
Like their knowledge is it's priceless. I mean,
Yeah.
and they're great people.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Yeah. That's why they're still helping out in the business, because they're understanding great people that know wrestling and know how to work with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I work with Dean quite a bit when he's around, but the Jerry I did early on, but now I worked with Jerry enough. I think he's amazing.
Yeah, he's one of the great gentlemen in the business. Vince Russo has not been involved in this match at all, which surprised me. I guess he's going to get involved in the end. They're going to give Flair a blockbuster. No, they gave it to Luger or to Shane.
That's what got me thinking about ECW. As I was scrolling through, there's Russo.
Yeah.
I was watching YouTube last night after Megan went to bed and just killing time, trying to get sleepy. And it suggested some old ECW promos. And the only time I had seen ECW recently is when Tony and I would watch something. And of course, that means we're watching it on Peacock, which means none of the music's the same. And music was such a big part of the ECW television show that it just doesn't hold up. Oh, there's Chronic. Anyway, I saw a Shane Douglas promo and I was like, dude, this is freaking unbelievable. Oh, big choke slam by Chronic. I wonder if this is one of the first times we would have seen Chronic here, Tony.
I think so.
Oh, and look at Vince Russo stripping the referee shirt off of Nick Patrick. He's going to put it on inside out, slide in to count the three.
Gonna count 1, 2, 3. Yes! Russo went in there. He grabbed the ref shirt. He made things happen. Step 1 of the master plan.
So as a reminder here, Tony, we're crowning all new champions on the show. Now we've got new tag team champions. I guess Shane Douglas and Buff Bagwell are the new tag champs.
Yeah. And there's a man cow sign. Wow. And
Man cow.
I haven't thought about man cow in a long time.
It's funny, Tony, as we're watching this, you'll say something and then literally 3 seconds later it happens. You were like, oh, he was the opposite of Sting. And then Sting comes out. And you're like, oh, Vince Russo didn't get involved. Then Vince Russo gets involved immediately. Like you have this.
Yes.
Your brain is too set. It's too into professional wrestling.
Well, it's funny because we started this watch along with him saying, I don't remember a fucking thing about this show. And then as he gets going, he just accidentally predicts everything.
Well, yeah, because, and you know what, that's legitimately just being a part of the business for all these years. It really is. And it's also the fact that in Orange, I've told this story many times, but when Russo went out and called Hulk Hogan a piece of shit, that famous promo that he did for Hogan Walk, I didn't believe it was real. And I still to this day don't believe it was real. And Vince and I, Russo and I got into an argument about it days later about, you don't believe it was real? I said, no, I don't. I guess I've just been doing this too long to believe that anything is a work. So, and then there was a deal, and I remember we were in the Pepsi Center in Denver, and Buff Bagwell had been talking on camera about Kimberly, and someone said in the back, we were in the announcer room, someone said, Buff Bagwell just arrived, and he and Dallas are in a fight backstage. And I went, it's not real. I said, yeah, they are really going to. I said, no, it's not real. It's a freaking angle. They're trying to work the fucking boys. Get back in here. So I don't believe any of that stuff. I don't.
I every now and then, Conrad, I'll see Tony and I'll Schiavone, this Tony.
Yeah. Yeah. Our Tony.
And I'll just be like, I'll just say like, man, you've seen a lot of wrestling.
Boy, have I ever.
The idea of how much wrestling you have seen is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I'd like to, but it'd be impossible. I'd like to go back and try to count the matches that I've called.
Oh,
I
wow.
guess it could be done, I mean, I can count the baseball games I've done because I did 144 a year for like all those years. So you can count those up, but wrestling, man.
Hey, are you on Cage Match?
Yeah. Well, am I on Cage Match?
That's a
my
great
name or
question. Let me just let's take a look.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if they could search you. You can
How many
find out that way.
I don't know.
I never used cage match until I got to AEW. I didn't know what it was.
I didn't know what it was either, but my God, is it a resource? Holy
It's
smokes.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
It's unbelievable.
Well, here's how you know it's bullshit. It says Tony's 5'10". Ain't no fucking way. No, that I don't see any matches listed there. You know, but counting all the stuff though, I mean, when I think about that, didn't Jericho do a book with Marvez not too long ago about his entire history? Maybe we need him to do one for you, Tony.
Yeah, let's do one for me. Yeah, I'm for it.
Like those frilly toothpicks.
Yeah, let's put it in comic book form.
Boy, if you could just animate your whole life, you'd like to, wouldn't you?
Yeah, boy. My life has been a cartoon.
It kind of has.
It really has. It's been a freaking cartoon. And that's why I was so really into doing a comic book, because Sting's coming out again.
It's a tournament, baby. We're crowning a U.S.
Wow.
champ here. The winner of this match, whether it's Scott Steiner or Sting, will be the United States champion. And I'm sure Sting is thrilled to be competing for the U.S. title.
Yeah, I'm sure he's thrilled about coming back out again.
This is his third match on this show, by the way.
Oh my God.
14
You said there was
matches in
14
total.
matches.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God.
and what's the main event for this thing?
Jeff Jarrett and DDP.
Gotcha.
We got a fun question from one of our folks who are watching along with us over at Ad Free Shows and the WHW Patreon. This is from Tony's goddaughter, Brooke. She wants to know, hashtag Ask Orange Cassidy. If you were wrestling in the 90s and early 2000s, which promotion would you have signed with? WWE, WCW, or ECW? Do you have a preference there?
I mean, I'd probably do ECW, but just because I feel like I'd fit in a little bit better there and a little more freedom. And let's be serious, WWE or WCW would not have signed me. So
I don't know. I get a feeling, Orange, that Vince Russo would have loved your
He would have loved it.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think so.
I mean, look at what Norman Smiley was doing earlier. Are you telling me that?
Yeah, he
couldn't
was in
convince
he was in a
Vince Russo?
bathroom stall in a catcher's outfit.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's
I
not
think-
to equate. It's not to equate what you do to being in a bathroom.
no,
stall.
you're absolutely right. But it is. I think about that a lot. That because of AEW, I'm able to wrestle the way I want to wrestle. Right? Like I feel like if I was in a situation like this, they would see me and just make me be the guy that I wouldn't do anything else. I would just be the guy who hides in bathrooms.
I got you.
You know, I wouldn't. They wouldn't let me evolve the way that I would like to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would never to be able to have a full match against Jeff Jarrett. You know. What I mean?
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, let's say you had signed with ECW back then. Okay. Now you would still be trying to put your life together because you wouldn't have gotten many payoffs that were promised to you, and you'd be able to watch WWE right now and watch Paul Lee dangerously be 800 pounds. So it was there you go. So your life's better.
My life's better for it, huh?
Plus you're probably just a wee little kid back then anyway.
Yeah.
So
Anybody you'd like to shit on today, Orange? Tony's he's shitting on everybody for both of us.
I don't shit on that. Just Paul Lee needs some intervention. Okay, he does. I mean, I'm a lifetime member of Weight Watchers. I've been a fat ass. Okay, so I know what it's like. So he needs some intervention before he drops dead. I mean, Jesus Christ. Whew. Whew. I mean,
I would have loved
compared to him, you're skinny compared to him.
I would have loved to have seen Orange Cassidy and Scott Steiner. Did that ever happen on an independent?
Yes, it did.
Where can we go find that? Do you remember the name of the promotion?
It's not a great subject.
Oh, copy that. Okay, got it.
It's for a promotion.
I understand.
Okay.
But Brian Cage was involved,
Okay.
and luckily Brian Cage was there,
Okay.
which I don't think anybody's ever said ever.
Oh, I just put two and two together thanks to our friends over at Cage Match. Copy that. Understood.
But I mean, he was cool.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. We thought he was going to kill Conrad one day.
Yeah.
But found out it was a work.
Well, he actually called before we got him at STARRCAST. He actually called me and told me he was going to come to my house. And I believe the phrase was fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Or fucking kill you. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You have my address. You've been here before.
And when I said, he's cool, was in the ring, like
Yeah.
wrestling. I don't know him at all. Besides that brief interaction.
He's a great guy.
He is. He's calmed down quite a bit. Of
Yeah,
course,
I mean,
as you age, it'll happen.
you think some of
Still
that,
want-
Tony, was wrestler paranoia? I mean, it feels like a lot of wrestlers from this era. I guess maybe it still happens too, but it feels like in this era specifically, there was a lot of wrestler paranoia.
My God, wrestler paranoia is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's almost unbelievable.
Maybe when you get out of the race car, so to speak, and you just become more of a civilian and you're running the Shoney's or whatever, then it's like, okay, I don't have to be, my head on a swivel all the time now. Be a real person and maybe not be tightly
I love Shoney's.
You like
Shoney's is the best.
That hot bar is jam?
The breakfast mistakes is the best.
Look at this shit. Vampiro is back. They just wrestled, but now he's hiding under the ring.
Under the ring?
Came from under the ring and pulled Sting under.
And so Scott Steiner's going to win the thing by count out, I bet.
Well, can you count somebody out if they're not there?
Well, they're not in the ring, right?
I guess that's true. If I was that cameraman,
that guy with the camera is confused too.
Because if it was a quote unquote,
no idea what's happening.
If he really was a journalist, he'd have the camera in the hole. But I guess you can't really do that here.
No. Oh my God, Sting is bleeding.
From the mouth.
From the mouth.
Thankfully, that's the only place.
And Vampiro's gone.
The old trap door.
Got to get the referee.
Yeah, let's go wake him up. Pay no attention to the hole in the corner.
That is referee Billy Silverman.
Your boy.
Yep, one of my boys. And of course, the Steiner recliner is an afterthought here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you think for Sting's last match, there's going to be like a bunch of legends in the front row or something like that, Tony? Do you think we'll have like Sting, this is your life type stuff going on?
I think so. I would hope so.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I would hope so. I would hope somebody's working on that right now. That's way above my pay grade, but
what's above your pay grade? You run the damn show over there.
No, I do not run the damn show over there.
Well, that's not what I read. I read that you and Pat Buck and Sanjay are running the whole shooting match.
Oh, really?
That's what I read.
Well, you know what? There's nothing but truth on the internet. You stupid son of a bitch.
Whenever Tony Schiavone enters a room, we all have to look at the floor. We can't look at him in the eyes. We have to do whatever he always has to eat catering first. He always has to get every time first in front of the line. Comes in the locker room and just degrades us.
I do have a good time when I'm in the locker room. I can tell you that. Yeah.
You boost morale through the roof.
I have a good time. And going to the locker room is important. I really think it is. Even though I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing here?
I just think about sometimes when you do walk in a locker room and you walk into our locker room, you look around, I was like, man, Tony really fell off. He has to change. He has to be in a locker with Orange Cassidy.
When you really think about the way wrestling has changed, when he first started going in locker rooms, it was like Terry Funk and Harley Race, and now it's Danhausen and Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Wrestling's changed a little bit. Look at Tony. That svelte, handsome son of a bitch right there in the middle.
I think that's a famous GIF.
No wonder you got 42 kids. Look at you.
Yeah. Well, I'm a handsome son of a bitch.
Look at that color choice. I'm digging it. What is that, salmon?
Yeah. I said it's not orange. I don't want Taz to look at this.
Oh, you know what?
Sweet.
We never talked about that. I'm friends with Taz, and he does believe he owns the color orange. Mr. Cassidy did once upon a time, he thought he owned the word as well. Did Taz ever need a word with you about the word orange?
I don't know how I got the pass.
Wow.
Taz gave me I think it's because I don't actually wear orange. I don't actually wear the color orange. That's just my name.
There you go.
That's the distinguishing act. I like that. The color dumping you on your head. The word, he's okay.
Yeah.
And these graphics look like, they've evolved a little bit.
Have we gone through one of these podcasts without Brent mentioning Taz's name? I don't think we have. We always mention his name.
Well, because he's the gift that keeps on giving.
He really is. He absolutely really is.
I don't know where he woke up today, but I know he woke up pissed off.
Yeah.
Have we, has Taz sat behind a desk with Daddy Magic yet?
I'm not so Daddy Magic has been sitting behind the desk with us on Collision a lot.
Right.
But I don't think so on Dynamite.
Hey, I would love to see that. Love to see it.
Oh God, we got so many great characters.
You really do.
And I don't mean that you see on TV. I mean behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
It's just got so many great characters. Oh my God, Sid Vicious.
Wow.
Holy shit.
What a monster.
He was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, the Wall. Was he the Wall back at that time?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Was he always wasn't he something else before he was called the Wall? He was called the Wall when he was like hanging out with Alex Wright, right? This kind of a German type.
Oh yeah. I thought that's what he was called though. Cause he was called the Wall because of the Berlin Wall.
Right. But I think he was called something before.
Malice. He wrestled as Malice in TNA. I remember that.
Okay. Malice.
Here we go. Snuff, Jerry Toot, Hellraiser, AWOL, Sergeant AWOL. Yeah. Snuff. Yeah. That's maybe not the best name. But Orange Grove, New Jersey, or Ocean Grove, New Jersey, rather. 6'8". He played basketball, of course, but
wow.
I guess he started wrestling in 94, trained by Mike Sharp. All of this according to cagematch.net.
Yeah.
Orange, what'd you think?
I'm gonna turn my camera off for 2 seconds. I gotta step away for 60 seconds. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
While he steps away, we should plug that, the big game is coming up this weekend. And now is an excellent time for you to pick up some fan gear for the Chiefs or the 49ers over at shopsportsmerch.com. It's an easy way to support your favorite podcast here, What Happened When. You can shop for your favorite players and teams using our special URL, shopsportsmerch.com. Now it's going to redirect you to Fanatics. You're going to get the same great products, the same great service, the same great prices, but it really helps our show. So to support our show, if you're watching along with us on YouTube, just hit that QR code that's up on the screen now, or check out the description below for the link. We'll also have it up on all of our socials. You can shop with confidence for your favorite jerseys and caps and shirts and jackets and hoodies. Oh my. And it all happens at shopsportsmerch.com. Greatly appreciate all of the support. And Tony, it looks like Jeff Jarrett is making his way to the ring. And of course, the winner is going to walk out with the big gold belt. And I think it's still probably the most iconic and most famous world championship of all time. And I'm actually bringing it with me to Australia, Ballarat, Victoria, Australia. It's our first ever international STARRCAST Down Under. Bret Hart, Mickey James, Shelton Benjamin, Chris Masters, and more names to come. We're announcing names left and right over at STARRCAST Events on Twitter. But we've got not one, but two wrestling shows. Mickey James is presenting HER, which is an all-women show. And Bret Hart is doing the Australian Stampede, a supercard of wrestlers from all over the world. There's going to be at least half a dozen stage shows, including the very first time I've ever been on stage with Bret Hart and able to pick his brain. We're calling it Hitman, an evening with Bret Hart. We'll talk about the 30th anniversary of his WrestleMania 10 match with Owen Hart. You got meet and greets galore. You'll be able to meet all your favorites, see the matches, and watch the shows. STARRCAST.com for more information. That's STARRCAST.com. And we'll see you sooner rather than later in Ballarat, Victoria, Australia. STARRCAST Down Under at starrcast.com.
Okay, this announcement has just kind of blown me away. This is the first time I heard about STARRCAST coming to Australia.
How about that, man?
You don't like to fly.
Not worth a damn. No.
You're going to take a bus to San Diego and then a boat over?
Well, I don't hate to fly, but as you know, I live in Huntsville, so there's no such thing as a direct flight unless you're going to fucking Atlanta or Charlotte, sort of thing. But
Right.
somehow, some way, we found a flight, and it's still going to be a marathon day. Check this out, Tony. I got a 3-hour flight from Huntsville to Denver, and then
Okay.
a 2.5-hour flight from Denver to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then from San Francisco, I'm flying 15 hours to Melbourne, Australia. So, if I had to imagine, I will be enjoying some Tylenol PM on one of those flights.
Very good. Good luck to you, buddy.
I'm trying to get a friend of ours who's yet to be announced, but it is a big name, a very big WCW name, and a friend of mine and yours. And he was just, he just confirmed earlier this week, hoping that he winds up on that flight. So I at least have someone to talk to for 22 hours of air travel.
Is it Norman Smiley in a catcher's outfit?
Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be so great. I would just start throwing snacks over my head like Terry Funk, just to do it.
Wow. Wow. Of all the places.
I know, right?
Okay. Let me get in touch with my wife because Bug needs out.
I like the dog barking in the background though, unless he's going to
Yeah,
take a big plop. If he does take a plop, can you take your webcam and show it? Cause that would be the epitome of WCW 2000.
We're on.
Hello.
Hello, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm sorry, what?
A Bug is barking at the door. Would you let him out? I think he's got to go to the bathroom.
All right. No, actually, he's going after your girl.
Okay.
But, all right.
All right.
I'll do it.
Thank you,
Bye.
honey. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Is that a classic bit? Tony
No,
calls?
no, that's not a classic bit, but it should be, right?
We just love Tony and Lois together. Like Lois run-ins is a big part of the show. A highlight of every show.
Yeah, but anyway, when she's saying he's barking at your girls, she's talking about the two beagles.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like crazy. Yeah, I don't know what it is about my life, but I've always been. All the women in my life are crazy.
Okay.
Lois, my daughter, the two beagles. I've got 6 granddaughters. I don't think they're old enough to be crazy yet, but it's coming. So I'm a friend of Britt Baker's. She's crazy.
Yep.
She's out of her mind.
Yep.
So there you go. I don't know what it is about me and crazy women. I guess I just attract crazy women.
You like what you like, Tony. That's all. You like what you like.
I like what I like. Exactly.
Speaking of liking what you like, Greg Jacobson watching along with us wants to know, hashtag Ask Orange Cassidy. What was your first wrestling event you attended live? Do you recall?
Oh, there was a blizzard sometime in the, I can't remember what it was, but it was, I think WWF was running Nassau Coliseum, and there was a really massive blizzard, and they weren't sure if the show was canceled or not. And because it was like in the 90s, there was no internet. So we just got in the car. My dad drove, a couple of dads got together and they drove with a couple of there was like 6 of us, got in a minivan, started driving to the show in the middle of a blizzard and listening to the radio to see if the radio would announce that the show was closed or not. And it wasn't. And I got there and it was like half full. Half the wrestlers didn't make it because of flights and stuff. I'll never forget, I saw Rick the Model Martel wrestle Jake the Snake Roberts in a blindfold match.
Wow.
Like they had the bags over their heads and Jake the Snake would just point around. And then when he was pointing at Rick, we were all supposed to cheer. That's where you knew where he was.
Yeah.
I can't remember that. I mean, sure, someone smarter than me will find out what event that was or whatever, but it's like they just practiced pay-per-view matches, I guess.
Yes.
So,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess
and I
that
used
was
to go to Stabler
1991.
Arena a lot. I used to go to
90
Stabler Arena in Bethlehem, PA a lot. Watch a Superstar taping.
Wow. How about that? That was good stuff, man. Look at the
I saw
fan.
Yokozuna wrestle Undertaker in a casket match because they were get ready for the pay-per-view.
Right. Yeah, that's what they did back then, right?
Yeah. I saw Brett wrestle Owen.
Wow. Good stuff, brother.
I think the show you're talking about, let me run through the card here, see if we can figure this out. Dustin Rhodes and Buddy Rose, Coco Beware and Sonny Blaze, Roddy Piper and Kerry Von Erich, teaming up against Mr. Perfect and Virgil, Rick Martel and Jake Roberts, Dino Bravo and Saba Simba, Tugboat and Barbarian, Earthquake and Jim Powers, and the main event was Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart against Paul Roma and Hercules. Does that ring a bell?
Yep. Oh, that's it.
So that would have been
What year is that?
January 11th, 1991.
Yeah, I was young. I was a young one.
You were like,
I'll never forget that because I got a little styrofoam 2x4.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Wow. The guy on his phone.
I think my
That was
first,
probably revolutionary at that time.
Yeah.
2000, you have a cell phone that works inside of here?
That's right.
well, only if you pulled that little antenna up. It's funny. We used to think that mattered. Wait, I can't hear you. Let me pull this little 1-inch antenna up.
I used to pull my little 1-inch antenna up, Conrad.
That's how you
There
got
it
4
is.
kids.
Hello.
Come on.
Hello.
Hey now.
Thank you for that lead in to that line.
Very welcome.
Hey, these two guys are working hard, man. Jeff Jarrett,
Yeah.
as old as he is then.
Oh, wow. That was actually, wow.
Yeah, believe it or not, Meltzer gave this match 3.5 stars. They're going to go 15 minutes and 2 seconds. I think this was probably the highest rated match on the show, which I guess is maybe not that surprising considering that not a lot of the other stuff got a lot of time.
Oh,
Yeah. Not only that, I mean, listen, Jeff Jarrett had by this time wrestled a lot. DDP was a great worker, so it's not surprising this match was good.
Not only was it good, but Meltzer would say it was generally considered the best WCW pay-per-view since last year's Spring Stampede in Tacoma, Washington.
Wow.
And of course, Spring Stampede 99 is where DDP finally became the world champion in a real star-studded affair. Randy Savage was the referee, but the other guys in the ring were Sting, Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair. I mean, that's a big moment for DDP. And a year later, he's still in the main event, but with the Chosen One, fresh off of a WWF run.
yeah. I wrestled Jeff Jarrett for the All Atlantic Championship, turning into the International Championship in Canada, presented by Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. So I'll never forget that. It was incredible. I never thought when I was in 1991 driving to a blizzard, I'd be wrestling Jeff Jarrett, presented by Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods.
You just never know where life's going to take you in wrestling.
You never do.
I know
Never
this
do.
is super random, but Mr. Cassidy, you've been wrestling a long time. Can you think of another wrestler that's wrestled from, I think it's 1986 until now, never had a surgery? I find that so amazing about Jeff. Like, how do you do this where you never have a surgery? Like, not one.
I was actually thinking about this the other day because the only person that I knew that never really broke a bone was Chuck Taylor.
Hmm.
And because I feel like everybody else has had some type of serious injury at some point. Jericho said he did the arm fracture earlier in his career. But has he done any, unless I'm missing something? I think Jericho didn't have one early on, and that was it.
That's impressive. I mean, I know during the Superfly splash off the cage, Jeff just took that laying on the mat and got a concussion. So I know that was really bad, but as far as just going under the knife, the idea that, you could do something for nearly 40 years, this physical, with all the travel and all the bumps and all the, the sweat and the slipping and the sliding and the falling. And I mean, there's no accident that happened along the way that required you to go get fixed up. I just thought was unbelievable. Kudos to those guys.
Yeah, it's a discussion that we've had many times on this podcast, in that I talk about how the young wrestlers today take a lot of crazy bumps through the table and do a lot of crazy stunts and dives and things like that. But the flip side is they didn't work every day. They don't work every day like they did back then.
Right.
I mean, we had house shows back then, and we didn't have as many back then as we did early on, but there were a lot of house shows. And so you wrestled every night. You didn't have a chance to heal, nor did we have the medical staff back then that we have right now.
Yeah, I obviously I've never been anywhere else to this level, and AEW is the only thing I've known, but we have access to so many things that to keep our bodies. If there's any little thing, I can go into that training room, and they have something for me. So
So the flip side is, when I think that the longevity of the younger wrestlers is not going to be as what it was back then, maybe it is because of all the things at their disposal, so to speak.
And also all the things they're not putting in their body like they did back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
I'm glad our locker room is filled with video games and
yes,
candy.
Exactly.
Swedish Fish for the win.
Yeah.
How about Positively Page there?
He just tore up a Positively Page book.
And we've seen Eric Bischoff come out on the ramp. He's taking a look. We got a question for you, Mr. Cassidy, here from Anthony. He wants to know, what was your favorite venue to watch wrestling? You talked about going to some shows in 91. Did you have one venue in your fandom, or you were like, man, this is the building right here?
Yeah, Hammerstein Ballroom was pretty sweet.
Yes.
And I've been fortunate throughout my career. I saw the transformation that ECW Arena went through.
Yes.
Because now it's like I saw it like Alhambra, and then it went through all these phases. I remember I was there for all, like, while they were recreating it, but that building's also very special.
Yes.
I had a chance to work the Hammerstein Ballroom with MLW, so I got a chance.
I forgot
to work
about that. That's cool.
Yeah, sure did. And I had a chance to work it with Matt Stryker, doing commentary with him. So. And
didn't you do a meet and greet or something at the ECW Arena?
Yes, I did.
That's cool that you got to check those off. Tony, did you ever visit the Sportatorium? Did that ever happen for you?
You mean the one in Dallas or the one in Tampa?
The one in Dallas.
No, I did not. Is that still? They tear that down yet?
It's a vacant lot
gone
now. Yeah.
Yeah. The one from Tampa is still there, but it's been cut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a storefront now, and but it's still there on. I think it's on Tampa Street, maybe, or something like that. Some sort of. I've been on the outside of that one. I've seen there. You look at it, you wouldn't believe that was at one time the Sportatorium in Tampa. But no, never went to the one in Dallas, and I know there's some great things there.
Did you see the Iron Claw movie yet, Tony?
I have not. Have you seen it, Orange?
Yes.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. I thought it did I was watching it, and there were scenes in the movie that I was like, if you're not a professional wrestling fan, you have no idea what's going on. And they did a really good job of, if you knew about professional wrestling, you're understanding. If you don't, they did it like they did that scene where he was laying outside of the ring for the 10 count.
Yes.
And the referee's counting to 10. It's like, if you don't know in professional wrestling that a 10 count means you're it's a count out. Like, what's the drama there? But they did a really good job covering all that stuff up. And Chavo did an amazing job. Like, those guys were working great.
They look great. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good trainer. He's built a great reputation for himself in Hollywood.
that trailer of Zac Efron running the ropes, I was like, okay,
Yes.
he's hitting them.
So now we see that Kimberly has picked up the guitar, Jeff Jarrett's guitar. Of course, Kimberly is real life wife of DDP and his valet for this match. And we've seen that Eric Bischoff came halfway down the aisle and then went back up the ramp, but now he's at ringside. And so is Kimberly.
Is she going to turn on her husband here?
Yes, sir. This is the big swerve.
See, I didn't remember, but once again, I know.
You know.
Your spidey sense is going off.
Exactly.
DDP was also one of those guys very early, because DDP was around early AEW.
Right.
Frequently. He was one of those guys that he was very, very nice to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's cool.
He would give me some stuff, some pointers and stuff.
Yeah. Boy, there's never been any. Look, I paused for the 3 count, waiting for Excalibur to talk. There's no one who has more confidence in himself that I've been around than Diamond Dallas Page. I mean, he just believes in himself, man.
He's transforming people's lives now,
yes,
right? Like,
absolutely.
He's saving lives.
Yes, of course he is. What a story. I mean, we bring this up a lot, but what a story.
Got to be one of the more inspirational stories. I mean, the real American dream when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude couldn't read until he was an adult. And now he has a huge empire. Look at there, run in. Kevin Sullivan in the background.
Hey, hold it down. Man, when the dogs go crazy at this house, again, 2 females, crazy.
That's what happens.
What happens in our house?
You like what you like.
I don't think we've seen a match that hasn't had at least one person standing ringside or somebody coming from under the ring. There's always stuff happening.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Vince Russo, baby.
Yeah, we talk about that today. We talk about, we've had too many run-ins. We've had too many, but fuck it. I'm done with trying to second guess anything. I just go, there's Eric Bischoff getting involved. Here comes Kimberly.
Eric Bischoff is trying to fight with Charles Robinson. DDP calling for the diamond cutter. You see Kimberly on the apron over there. Let's track it.
But can you trust Bischoff? Diamond cutter! He got diamond cutter! It's over! Page is going to be the 3-time champion! And now Kimberly's going to come into best jet. Oh, this is terrible! This is revenge, Mark Madden! This is terrible! Why in the world is Eric distracting the ref here? Eric's distracting the ref? He must be helping Page! He must be helping Kimberly get the final blow! That must be the answer! And now the crowning blow for Kimberly! She hit her husband! She wiped him out! Destroyed! Yes! And now he was distracting the ref! 1, 2, new champion! That's why Bischoff distracted the ref! The master plan worked!
That reaction from Eric Bischoff, that's a meme that people still use. You can find that on Twitter about every day. And there it is. Jeff Jarrett becomes the WCW world champion, the big gold belt right after the big reset, and Kimberly turning on her husband. What'd you think of the execution and your attempt to sell it there, Tony, where you're like, he's gotta be helping Dallas.
Yeah, I oversold it too much. You could tell the swerve was coming by the way I was talking. So there you go.
So there's some of the new champs. We see the tag champs, Buff Bagwell and Shane Douglas are in there. And
so when I was asked to do this, I was just asked to what do you want to watch? I just said the one match. I know we were going to watch the rest of it, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, this was super fun, man. I mean, there you see, it's a new era for WCW. Chris Candido's the cruiserweight champ, and Scott Steiner's the U.S. champ, and Buff and Douglas are the tag champs, and Jeff Jarrett's the man. But today, Orange Cassidy was the man. Man, we really appreciate all the time this morning. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you do your thing tonight on Dynamite, and of course Saturday on Collision out in Las Vegas. It's a big week for AEW, and Sting's last match will be here before you know it.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Tony. I'll see you at work.
See you work, brother. You're one of the good ones. I appreciate you and everything.
No, I appreciate you, Tony, so much. You help out more than you know. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you for saying that.
When you guys do FMW, let me know.
Absolutely.
I'll join in on it.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I want to see that too. God, you piqued my interest with that.
We'll make it happen sooner rather than later. But right now, Tony, it looks like it's about that time.
Our thanks to Orange Cassidy for being with us. And just like Paul Heyman's waistline, we are desperately out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When. We come to you each and every Wednesday on Westwood One. But on Mondays, we come to you ad-free on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.